What's going on, everyone? As we all know, we have a very exciting week ahead of us as we have more earnings to cover. We have 2 Jerome Powell speeches, and we have the market at a major pivot point. The market has been booming over the past week or so, and it is now to the point where it is getting a little bit overbought, and there is some strong resistance overhead. So in today's video, we're going to go over some important news, some crazy news, and some good setups for tomorrow. So make sure to stick with us. But with that being said, Tom, let's jump right into it.
Yeah, Mike, the market is getting extremely overbought right now, and I can't believe it kept going. I was watching this key trend line on the QQQ chart, on the SPY chart as well. There's a big channel that it's been in, and both actually started breaking out today. Like, look at how QQQ is extending up and out and over that trend line. That has been a key trend line ever since we started falling in July. So I'm really watching this right now, Mike. It's like we had a good breakout, but at the same time, the QQQ is sitting right on that recent resistance. You can see that's actually right where the high of day was today, was that perfect top back there from, it looks like, the 12th of October. So I'll be watching this very closely tomorrow. If we do not break that top, I might even look at puts tomorrow because I'm kind of waiting for that pullback to come in. Just look at the rocket ship that we're seeing on QQQ. It's pretty rare that we see SPY go up 7 days in a row, Mike. I think this is actually 7 green days total now that since yesterday ended up being a green day after all.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, the market really has been on a very strong run, but it's like, you know, when you zoom out and you look at the market over the past couple of months, you know, it's definitely been more bearish than bullish. So, like, the $1,000,000 question right now is, can bulls hold this level, or are bears going to come right back in and smack the market right back to some of the lows we were just at, like, just around a week ago? So crazy stuff there. But Tom, I have something even crazier to talk about, and I'll tell you, I sure wasn't expecting to read this morning. So basically, Business Insider came out with an article showing how an AI bot performed insider trading and then straight up lied about it. And like, this is the first time we've ever seen anything like this. Only in 2023 will you have like an investing bot that insider trades, and then when it's like confronted, hey, did you insider trade? It's like, oh no, definitely not.
Yeah, I mean, that is insane to me, Mike. Like, an AI is finally starting to try to deceive people a little bit, at least a little bit more openly, right? Some people say that these bots have already been maybe trying to deceive people in the background. You know, there's a lot of conspiracies with AI out there, but this is extremely interesting. It deceived users without being instructed to do so. Like, keep in mind that it's not like this bot was made to try and figure out, you know, if it could insider trade. Like, it just decided to do this on its own, and they tried to investigate it and figure out, well, did it insider trade? And apparently it knew that it was doing it and lied. So that's pretty nuts, Mike. You know, we talk about AI quite a bit on the channel. There's a lot of stocks that surround AI, like NVIDIA. There's even ticker symbol AI. I mean, there are so many stocks involved with AI nowadays. Just about every single tech stock is. I mean, even your refrigerators have AI in them now. I remember you told me that a couple years ago, and I didn't believe you, Mike, and I looked it up and was dumbfounded by it.
Nowadays, everything does. You just don't know it, right? The next thing you know, we're going to have, I don't even know. I can't even think of it, but basically everything's getting AI nowadays, and it looks like some of these models aren't doing the best things. So we'll see what happens, but I guess this brings in a little bit of entertainment for the day. So good stuff there. But Tom, we have an exciting earnings week ahead of us. We had a couple stocks report today in after hours, but fill us in.
Yeah, it's awesome. So tonight in after hours, we have Rivian, Upstart, Oxy, Wish. So there's a few reporting here, but tomorrow is going to be the big day in pre-market. I'm watching Roblox and Warner Bros. Pretty closely. If you're an EV stock fan, obviously Rivian and Fisker are going to be the ones to watch here. But tomorrow in after hours, Mike, we have Disney. Finally, Disney's going to be reporting. A ton of people are asking us about Disney today, and you know, it's never really good to guess on earnings like this because anything can happen. They could come out with low parks numbers. They could come out with Disney Plus streamer or Disney Plus accounts came in a little bit low, something like that. So I'm a little bit conflicted on their earnings here, Mike. You know, they've taken a lot of hits with their political stances and stuff. So hopefully they can keep moving up off this bottom support. You know, they've been bouncing off that long-term support and doing pretty well here the past week.
Yeah, play the move after. Don't feel the need to gamble ahead of the earnings report. There's just no need, and it'll be a lot less stressful and a lot more profitable just playing the move after. But yeah, Disney's a stock that I'll definitely watch pretty closely because, you know, Tom, it's at the point now where it's like, it is at a huge support level. It's at the same level it was in 2014, and it's also at the same level it was at the bottom of the COVID crash. So it's like, if it still falls from here, it's like, that is almost just like the nail in the coffin for the short term. But then at the same time, you know, if this earnings report comes in a lot better than, you know, everyone's expectations, this can be the start of like a, you know, something new and bullish for Disney.
I know, right? And Disney has a big gap to fill on the daily chart. Like, I've been waiting for them to try to get back up into this $94 to $100 range again. It would be sick if they could fill that gap back up to 100. And I'm not saying that they're going to do that on earnings. That would be quite the jump. But like you said, maybe it'll kickstart that bigger move up. And hey, I'll take even the movement from this week. And, you know, we're going to have that news with Disney and ESPN having that deal with Penn. ESPN bets coming out soon too, and I've noticed Penn Gaming's been flying up a lot lately as well.
Yeah, so good stuff there. Lots of good setups to watch going forward. But Tom, we also have Jerome Powell speaking tomorrow before open, which is something that we haven't seen in a long time. Tell us more.
Yeah, we've been looking at it all week. People keep asking us, when is Powell speaking, right? So 15 minutes before the market opens tomorrow is the easiest way to think about it. 9:15 a.m. Eastern time. Be ready. He'll be giving opening remarks at the Division of Research and Statistics Centennial Conference in Washington, D.C. So it's going to be, like I said, not an FOMC event, but it will be pretty important. He's expected to talk about the economy at least a little bit. And whenever you look at events like this, you know, just take them with a grain of salt, right? Some people really overhype these and then they end up being nothing. But, you know, if he does say something, it could end up moving the market quite a bit. And then, of course, he does speak Thursday as well at 2 p.m. at a policy panel discussion at I'll be honest, I can't even pronounce that one, Mike, but another conference, you know, not an FOMC event again.
For sure. So, yeah, exactly. You know, whenever Powell speaks, it's worth listening because he just has a way with words with the market, and he's arguably the most powerful person when it comes to the stock market and especially the U.S. economy. So keep a close eye out for that. But, Tom, I came across some data today that is interesting but also pretty worrying. So, as we all know, the Federal Reserve has basically been slowing the economy down purposefully over like the past year and a half or so, and we're now really starting to see some of those effects happen. So, credit cards especially are seeing some very interesting things happen right now. So to start off, the U.S. credit card debt is at a brand new record high. So yay. No, not so yay. It's actually pretty worrying because not only is U.S. credit card debt at a record high, but the credit card interest rate is at a record high as well, or, you know, at least recent high, I should say, of 21%, where just a couple years ago it was like 14 to 15%. So it's jumping up quite a bit. And then on top of that, U.S. credit card balances are increasing at a rapid pace, around 16.6% year over year. And then while all that is happening, we also have credit card delinquencies on the rise as well for basically all different groups of people. But some people, like especially younger people, are, more delinquent on their credit cards than other groups of people.
Yeah, they really are. And I'll tell you what, Mike, there's this awesome channel on YouTube, or this awesome guy I like to watch called Caleb Hammer. And, I don't usually like to talk about other people on YouTube, right? But this guy, he does these things called financial audit, and they talk with younger people and people who are in a lot of debt, right? And whenever you hear some of the debt like circumstances or scary things that people are in, it blows my mind, specifically younger people. Like, look at the white line. If you have auto and student loan debt, I mean, just look at the percentage here of those delinquencies getting higher. That is pretty scary, almost a 4%. Now, obviously, the people who have mortgages and only credit cards are a lot more well off, but you can still see that it's running up there. I mean, whenever you look at the credit card data like this and you see it coming in so negative and just having such a negative connotation, it just shows all that negative pressure on consumers. And it just shows that Powell has been doing his job, right? They've been trying to get that inflation lower by limiting the economy a little bit. And it looks like it's been working, at least for the average consumer out there.
Exactly. So we shall see. And while this is happening, we also have the unemployment rate slowly ticking higher. So while the unemployment rate is still like relatively low, around 3.9%, we can see that when we zoom out, we can see that the unemployment rate is very cyclical, right? It's like a giant like wave that happens in the economy. And, it looks like we're starting to form like a new wave of more unemployment. So we'll see what happens. But then again, remember, the Federal Reserve is literally slowing the economy down on purpose right now because the war against inflation has not been won just yet.
Yeah, and they do keep talking about like rate cuts coming up next year and everything like that, but Powell keeps reiterating like we're not done yet. And that's why these speeches that he gives are so important, because people are trying to get that. It's not like inside information in a way, but it kind of is. They're trying to get that inside scoop on what the feds are going to do so that they can make those assumptions on how they're viewing the economy. So make sure you watch that Powell speech 15 minutes before open tomorrow. We'll probably get at least a little bit more info on the economy.
You know it. All right, Tom, well, let's get into some fun stuff for today, which are some setups. So one stock I'm watching pretty closely is Coinbase. Now, Coinbase had a decent day today. It wasn't anything amazing, but it had a decent day, and I think it has more upside potential. Basically, they recently reported earnings, and I'm looking at this one for a potential earnings continuation play. I would love to see a breakout above $90 a share, plus some good volume and or news coming in, and I think this could make for a good upside short-term play.
Yeah, it looks pretty good. It closed up around highs today, and Bitcoin and Coinbase have had a lot of hype lately, so I'll definitely make sure to keep that one on the radar. With my first play for today, I'm going with Visa, and whenever I go out with Visa and I go to an intraday chart, it looks pretty good. So I'm waiting for this high of the week to break right around 245.30. If we're able to break that tomorrow, I'll look at calls, and let's go out to the daily chart setup because I really love this one. We've looked at it a lot, and look at all these bounces on this trend line. Now we're kind of getting up to the upper echelon of this level. I think that we'll be testing 248 to 250 sometime soon. So I'll be watching those levels for kind of like a target if we do end up breaking that high tomorrow.
Alrighty, good stuff. Another stock I'm watching pretty closely is QQQ, and it's actually to the downside. So QQQ has had a great run to the upside over the past week or so, but it's just to the point where it's a little bit overbought. And I do think there's a good shot that we can see a lot of these big tech stocks not necessarily like tank lower, but at least see like a decent pullback. So I am watching QQQ to the downside, but I'll also say this, at the end of the day, we could all have our predictions for the market, but the market will do whatever it wants to do, So, if QQQ just starts running to the upside like no one's business tomorrow, then, obviously don't try and force it to the downside. But let's say the market opens, let's say there's some weakness right around open, and we see some of these other big tech stocks starting to fall off, that would be the situation where it makes playing QQQ to the downside more optimal.
Yeah, and I love this double top in the short term here. Like, if that holds up, this could be a great play back down. But I love what you said about making sure the market's down as well in some of those bigger stocks because, man, it seems like Apple just does not stop lately. I mean, look at that one run up. But again, even Apple is kind of at like a big resistance from the past couple of months as well. So I'll be watching these stocks very closely tomorrow, Mike. With my next play, I'm going with Square. Square had a good move today. I called it out yesterday. It broke broke above $50 early on and honestly ran up pretty much all day long. So good stuff, Square. That was a great move. I'll be watching it again tomorrow. I'm going to watch 52.20 is a pretty big resistance, and then overhead above there, 53.50. So if we're able to get above 53.50, anything above there, I would say is just a cherry on top. So let's go. Great moves from Square so far, and it's another earnings continuation play, and I'm glad to see him coming up and retesting those highs.
Great stuff. And Tom, when you speak of Square, how can we not talk about some of our premium plays from today? Square call options was actually one of them. So if you guys are into short-term trading, you have to check out that first link in the description and the comments down below. We had a bunch of plays in the Discord today, and we'll start off with hybrid bot. So we'll call out Square call options at $165 each. By the end of the day, they were trading for $203 each. It was a nice and easy play. There was basically no drawdown with it, so nice and easy there. But if you're into more of that, crazy stuff, we also had SurgeBot with a phenomenal SNOW call option play today. Basically right at open, it was insane. So basically it called out the snow call options around like $40 each, and they ran all the way up to $128 each in 13 minutes. I'll say that again, $40 up to $128 in 13 minutes. Not only do you get access to SurgeBot, but you also get access to these educational videos that I literally make every single day, showing you how to use this technology to its fullest potential. Right in the market analysis channel, I walk through the exact steps to use at market open to catch crazy plays like that. But if you want in on the action, check out that first link in the description in the comments down below. SurgeBot is brand new, and it's been crushing it so far, and I'm very excited to see what else it has in store for us for the rest of the week.
Yeah, it's been badass. I've been loving SurgeBot, Mike. Ever since it came out, I've been watching it all day long, trying to formulate some good strategies with it. And, whenever we were looking at it over the past few weeks, obviously it's been fun, right? But once it actually released, it's like, wow, hey, it's releasing at a good time. The market's breaking out and it's finding some fire plays. I will say early on today, Mike, the overall market was actually pretty stagnant, right? It wasn't really doing too much. If we go to the SPY on a 1-minute chart, we scroll back here, it was kind of not doing much. But I'll tell you what, that snowflake call option that it was calling out, it found that momentum and it caught that run. I'll just say that. It definitely sniped it today. And it's not even sniper bot, but it sniped it.
There we go. All right, well, let's get right into some momentum plays for tomorrow. And Tom, as luck would have it, the first one is actually SNOW to the upside.
Yeah, go ahead and make it break that intraday resistance right around 160. It closed very close to there. If it breaks it pre-market, then make it break 162.
Alrighty, and then with the next one, we have Zoom also to the upside.
Oh, man, I'll say this. Thank God Zoom went up again today, Mike. They've been, I thought they were going to start falling down here. So if they break that double top around 62.80, then look at calls.
All right, and then with the last one, we have Amazon for both directions.
AMZN. I would say they had a pretty good day too. If they end up breaking that double top at 143.40, then go ahead and look at calls. But if they break below intraday support right around 142.30, then look at puts.
All right, so we have the downside level for puts, we have the upside level for calls, and that is for Amazon. And then don't forget about the potential call plays with Zoom and Snowflake. They are only plays if they break above the levels that Tom listed. But let's get right into today's big money $1.5 million trade of the day. And this one's a little bit controversial, Tom. So I bet we're going to have some people in the comments with some pretty opinionated thoughts with this one. But it is with TLT, and basically the big money trader here dumped $1.55 million into the TLT 89 strike call options that expire on January 19th of 2024. Basically, TLT is in its largest drawdown in history, and this is because the U.S. bond market is in its worst crash in history. literally. And basically a play on TLT to the upside would mean that you think that longer dated bond yields, I should say, are set to fall. And, basically the lower yields fall, the more TLT will go up in this situation. It's a very interesting play given how low TLT is right now and how quickly yields rose to begin with. I can see TLT popping to the upside with some strong momentum in the short term, but personally, I would not hold this one for months at a time, just because, the war against inflation isn't done yet, and there's still a lot of key political risks around the world right now, whether it is, at home or even overseas in Israel and Palestine and Russia and Ukraine. So very interesting play, and it's pretty bold.
Yeah, and let's say we go out and we go look at the US 20Y, right? Like the 20-year bond yield. You can see it ran up pretty high. It was up above 5%. Now it's starting to come down, right? Now the big question is are these yields going to just come straight down and really jackknife here? And is the market going to explode? I sure hope it does, but I would expect a lot more volatility, right? It might come down a little bit, start jumping back up, trade sideways, and then go down, maybe the middle of next year whenever the Feds start cutting those rates, right? So, I'm still kind of on the fence like you are, Mike, but I do lean to the upside with TLT. I think it's a pretty fun play. And, as we see these yields start to fall, it's been a pretty good move down so far. So at least there is some momentum to the downside there. And if that keeps up, TLT should be hot. But this is the January expiration. So like you said, I wouldn't hold it too long, maybe a couple weeks to a month at maximum.
Exactly, and of course it depends on what Powell says and, how everything around the world progresses too. So either way, keep a close eye on this one going forward. But, the market's at a key point right now. Lots of strong resistance is overhead. We have Powell very close to market open tomorrow as well. So it should be a pretty exciting day. Tom, do you have any final thoughts, or is there anything else that's on your mind?
Yeah, Disney tomorrow night as well. Some big earnings coming up. Roblox, Warner Bros. In the morning. Tonight so far, let's check in on Rivian real quick. Let's check in, see how that stock's doing. So far, so good. I mean, at least they're moving up a little bit, right, Mike? Rivian's they've had some problems lately. So hopefully this report comes out good in that conference call. Maybe they'll end up higher tomorrow. Who knows? But so far, so good by them. And let's hope that these other earnings go well also. We need Disney to come in good. Really, man, it's been a long time since they've had a good uptrend.
You know it. Well, thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked the video, make sure to subscribe. When you do, you'll see our videos recommended to you more often. And again, definitely check out that first link in the description and the comments down below to join the StockedUp crew with all of the short-term trading bots. They've been on fire lately. And besides that, let's have an amazing week in the markets.